All right, guys, we've been doing a really good job coding in the Vex VR blocks, and we're going to continue that. Looking at some sensors. This week, we're going to be looking at the distance sensors for the Vex VR virtual robot. So we're going to go back into our vr.vex.com, which hopefully you've got saved. If you don't, the website is vr.vex.com. Opens up our blank project from Google Classroom. You can see the name of your project is going to be your first name, Robot Vac. Now, remember to complete this assignment, you must attach a copy of your VR blocks file to the assignment, and you want to make sure that you turn it in by the due date, which is going to be Friday. So to download your file, when you're ready to save your file, it does not save from the web, so you have to go over here to the file, and we're going to save to your device. Every time that you save, it'll save a different one. It'll give it the number 1, number 2. So if you want to, you can go back and delete the one that you've got, or work on it till you're ready to walk away. Save it so that you've got your file. But my file is always going to be this Burke Robot Vac. If I need to load it back up from my device, I get called to dinner, I got to go, something like that, I can go back and look at it. So what we're going to be doing is we're working in our regular playground here, and this is going to just be the grid map. Okay. And so your mission for this week, or your challenge, is to get your Vex virtual robot to navigate through every square autonomously as a robot vacuum. So using the sensors. Okay. And we're going to use the distance sensor in it. So a couple of things that we can do here. So the first thing that we can do is we can set up what do we want some background parameters to be. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to set our drive velocity. Okay, what this is going to be is how fast do I want my robot to move through when he's driving, when he's going forward or reverse. And so right now I've got it set at 50%. I'm going to change mine just to make it 75. Be our just something we've got. This is your preference, and this is going to control how fast your robot is going to move forward and backward. Okay. You can also, if you'd like to set your turn velocity, you can drag that in to set your turn velocities as well. Now, what we're going to do here is we are going to have to bring a couple of other things in. So under our purple button here for our looks, you'll see you've got 2 that is your pen. What we're going to do to make this project a little bit easier for is we're going to have our robot pen. So we're going to do this move pen down. And we're just going to set this and say our pen is going to be as in the down position. So now you can change your pen to be the up or down position. We'll do some other activities with the pen where we can lift the pen, drop the pen. By default, the pen color is black. You can choose different colors for your pen. I believe it's black, blue, red, and green. But if you wanted to change the color, I could come up here to set robot pen to color. And just for fun, I am going to change the color of this pen to green. So that's going to say that my robot is going to be green. Now, again, when we're doing our programming runs in a line. So real fast, the robot's going to say, okay, I'm going to set my motor speed to 75%. Going forward and backward, I'm going to put the pen down, and the pen color is going to be green. Okay. And so now what we need to do is we're going to set up and create some variables. Now, we don't necessarily have to create a variable for this one, but I want you to get in the habit of doing it. We're going to go back over it again. I'm going to show you how to create a variable. A variable is anything, if you want to create an assigned value, whether it's numerical or data, to something that maybe you're going to change, or you want it to stay, or you want to get input from somebody. There's lots of different things that we can do. So what I'm going to do is go to the orange, which is going to be for our variables. And we're going to drag in this set my variable to. And I'm going to drag this in. I'm going to slide this grid over just a little bit here. And I'm going to click on my variable, and I'm going to rename it. And what I want you to do is name this distance. So we're going to call this variable distance. And I am going to give the variable of distance a 900, a value of 900. Okay, and this is going to make sense here in just a minute. Now, this is purposefully not the correct information as far as what you want that number to be. You're going to have to change this distance number to something that's going to be more appropriate to get your robot to vacuum the entire floor. Okay. Now, we're going to go back into our control, which is where we get everything done, and this is where we can do our weight. We can repeat if we wanted to do something, repeat it 4 times, 10 times, however we want to do it. For this one, we're going to have it repeat forever. And under this repeat forever, what we're going to say is, okay, I've set my speed, pen is down, color is green. my variable called distance is equal to 900. Okay, so now we're going to say, okay, what do we want our robot to do forever? So obviously I want him to drive. So I'm going to have him drive forward. Okay. Now what we've got on our robot, if I change into this view here and expand this out a little bit, we look at our robot. The robot has some distance sensors on the front of it, and the distance sensors are going to tell you how far you are away from something. Okay, so where your robot is sitting right here in this corner, and I can see by looking at my measurements here, this is our grid view, so we can see all of our sensor view. I am right now 1,845 millimeters from that far wall. Okay. Also have my bumpers. Left bumper false means it's not being touched. Right is not being touched. Our cameras, do they detect an object in front or down below? What's our heading, our rotation, and our angle? Those are all through the gyroscope sensors that we've got. We'll look at some of those different sensors. So when I'm face up, if I have got face down and I'm looking at this robot, and I repeat forever, my robot's going to drive forward. If I hit the play button, my robot is going to run through its code and he's going to drive forward. Notice he's dragging this green line. Now, I am still continuing to drive forward. My robot is getting jammed up because I didn't tell him what to do with this distance sensor. Okay, so this is where we're going to come in. Again, go back to our control blocks. And this is where it starts to get interesting. So I really want to pay attention here. We're going to put in a wait until. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, I'm going to drive forward until something happens. And that's going to be our distance sensor. Okay. So we're going to go into our operators. Operators is going to be all of your math functions. Okay. Now this is going to be helpful for you for a couple of things. You've got your if something plus something, something minus something. So these boxes are things that you can control. Basically what we're looking for, these are all of our math functions that we've got. What we're looking for is less than. So what we want to do is the less than one. So we're going to drag this less than symbol in here. And when we get this close, you'll notice that it starts to glow white with the ring around it to let you know you're in the right spot. And so that's going to bind that box into there. Okay, we're going to wait until blank is less than something. So we're going to get this 50 out of here because we don't need that. We're going to fill this in with our own variables or our own information. So we're going to go to our sensing, which we haven't done yet. So we're going to go to this light blue block for sensing. And under this light blue block for sensing, we're going to see our distance in millimeters. So about almost all the way down, distance in millimeters. I'm going to drag that over. We're going to wait until our distance sensor, again, wait until it highlights the white. Distance in, now we can change this to distance in millimeter, distance in inches. We don't want to change it to distance in inches because that's going to make it really difficult for us to figure out what's going on. And we're going to say wait until distance in millimeters is less than, because we got the less than sign. We're going to go back to our variable, and we're going to just drag in our variable that we've created called distance. We're going to drag that into there. Okay. So what we are saying is here, our robot is going to drive forward. It's going to wait until the distance in millimeters is less than this number that I put here, 900, right? So if I made the distance in millimeters less than a million, it would be less than a million, and it would do whatever it was going to do. Now, what is it that we want our robot to do? So what I'm going to have him do is I'm going to have the drivetrain, and I am going to have him drivetrain. Let's have him, we're going to make him make a right turn. I'm going to make him make a U-turn. So we're going to make a U-turn for 180 degrees, and then it's going to drive forward again. So now I'm going to expand this out. I'm going to look at this and see what my robot is going to do. So he's going to drive forward. Distance is less than 900 millimeters. He's going to turn around, drive forward. It's less than 900 millimeters. So you can see my robot here. You notice his distance here. Once that distance gets to be less than 900 millimeters, my robot is turning around at 180 degrees, and he is going back and forth. Now, this is obviously not the correct code, because what we want our robot to do, I'm going to have him stop here. What we want our robot to do is drive forward and we want a green line, a red line, black line, whatever line color you've got. We want your robot to drive forward and turn so that he's making movements that will get him or her to get through every single box. Okay, so how do we do that? Here are the things that you need to do with this. You want to have your robot drive forward, and you want to wait until his distance. And obviously, we want to get as close to the wall as we can. So you're going to play with this distance number until your robot gets to a right distance. That'll get you from end to end. And then what you're going to do is when you're doing your turn right, we talked about a little bit of those math. Instead of turning right for a certain number of degrees, what you would want to do is maybe put in the math operators and go back in here and look at your random and find some random numbers that you would want to put in there that would help your robot make a turn as such so that when it got to the wall, made a turn and it went someplace else. And hopefully, with the right combination of code, you can get a colored line through each of these boxes. You just have to graze through it. If you go in that box at all, it's going to count. You just want to make sure that your robot has covered a green line in every part of the square. So you want to make sure that you've got something in every square. If you have trouble with this, office hours 9:30 to 10, Monday through Friday, through the Google Meet on the Classroom. You could go get that. You can send comments through Google Classroom if you need anything. Send me an email. You can also find my phone number in Google Classroom. Give me a call if you're having any trouble with this. Good luck and happy coding.